The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a magazine and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Anna, we're going to bring you in a little early. How are you doing, Anna? Good to see you there.
Pretty good, thank you. It's great to see you all.
Where are you based out of?
I'm in Texas right now.
Oh, really? What part of Texas?
It's the central part of Texas. It's College Station. It's basically a university city.
It's probably shut down right now. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Texas. We had the Dallas Expo here at the Best You in Dallas.
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend last year, but I've been...
You can always watch it in our on-demand.
Definitely, yes. Sure will.
What are you sharing with us today? I want to give you time, and let me do a real nice introduction for you. So this is Anna Teresa Dango. She is retired after more than 3 decades of working in the international field. Management, graduated from Harvard University. I love that university. Former ambassador of Costa Rica and Washington, D.C. diplomat. Currently a co-author of A Search for Purpose and life coach. She served as an ambassador of Costa Rica, as a diplomat in Washington, D.C. and New York. Co-author of Search for Purpose for the best-selling series Wake Up and Live Your Life You Love. She is currently in the process of writing 2 more books, one of which is Turn the Page, How to Create, Embrace, and Step into the Next Chapter of Your Life. Very honored to have you on our stage here at the MMI stage.
Well, thank you very much, Donnie. Actually, this is what I wanted to talk about. I've been helping people all through my life at different stages. But right now what I'm doing is actually helping people who had high-powered, very hectic careers to create, embrace, and step into the next chapter of their life after they retire. So that's basically what I'm doing. My book actually is a 8-step book which guides people into embracing their next chapter.
I love it. And I read that you went to Harvard University.
I did.
And, they're giving free courses for those people that want to try to study at Harvard online during the COVID experience. You can actually go and get your Harvard law degree. You can study whatever you want. Harvard's offering that for free. And I have a couple of my 15-year-old students actually at Harvard because of that. What a way to put that on your resume. Are you guys okay with that? You graduated?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's amazing because I guess 2020 made all of us look for different ways to continue contributing to people. Yeah. And one of the things that I'm doing, actually, this is kind of off the side, I'm working with Rotary International on a group that's called Dare to Be Great. So we work with young people, particularly from Africa and Asia, on how to find their next chapter at a different stage in their life, not after retirement, but that's part of what they're doing. They're actually participating, a lot of them, in the Harvard courses.
I love it. Well, I want you to meet my co-host, so we're going to bring her in. This is Crystal. I'm honored to be co-hosting the MMI stage with her. Crystal, how are you? Did you meet our guests?
I have not met our guests. How are you?
Pretty good. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
I was backstage just listening to all the wonderfulness that you have going on, and I wrote down a few notes already. I'm the note taker of the group.
Oh, great. I'd love to hear that.
So you've got about a 30-minute share, just so you know. We're going to jump in about 5 minutes. Yeah, we'll jump in about 5 minutes before the end. Okay? So we're going to get to the main stage. Peace and blessings to you, and we'll talk to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
So this part of my journey begins on the first Friday of August 2014. It's a late afternoon on a balmy Austrian summer. Everyone else has gone home. I'm sitting in my chair, slowly rotating, and so I have a 360-degree view of my office. As the chair swivels around, a movie of the last 30 years is playing in my head. Actually, the movie starts earlier. I see myself as the child who would read all these books and dream about faraway places, imagining riding elephants and camels, seeing the desert dunes and the highest mountain peaks, witnessing the seven wonders of the world, traveling the seven seas. And then I realized that the child actually grew up and life took her to the most of these places and more. She was ambassador to Austria, to the United Nations in Vienna, and not one, but 6 other Eastern European countries. She also served as a diplomat in Washington, D.C. and New York, and worked in several international organizations, particularly in the nuclear non-proliferation field. She had the opportunity to speak at the United Nations countless times, chair international conferences, and speak in many fora worldwide. Through her work promoting international peace and security, she had the opportunity to visit the most amazing countries, learn about wonderful cultures, and meet people from all walks of life, from presidents to religious leaders, from the Pope to the Dalai Lama, to humble movers and shakers who dedicated their lives to promote noble causes. In my reverie, I see myself walking into high security nuclear plants, understanding how these mighty technologies have the power to both support life and generating energy, and also to destroy entire cities that were when used maliciously. I walked through history, revisiting sumptuous palaces in Europe, entering temples in the Far East, and soaking in the amazing beauty of Africa. There I am, swimming in the warm, pristine waters of the Caribbean, bathing in the golden shores of the Mediterranean, and floating, feeling weightless in the Dead Sea. A distant church bell brings me back to the present with a jolt. The ticking of a clock on the wall is no longer soothing. Now serves as a very real reminder of the passing of time. I want nothing more but to jump back into the movie, but it's gone. There's a heavy feeling in my heart. Could the movie keep on rolling? Are there more adventures to live? Have you ever watched a movie only to be left wondering if there will be a sequel? I had played out these memories many times in my head, but this time they felt different, more final. From my window, I can see the street in which I walked or drove so many times to go to meetings. Further beyond, I watched the sunset over the river. Beautiful, but nothing spectacular. Do you know when darkness gently creeps in and all of a sudden the night is here? Just like life has a tendency to creep up on you, gently and almost catching you unaware, and all of a sudden you find yourself on the day you retire. I had convinced myself that I was ready, but now this year my only thought is, this is it, now what? I get up, my heart pounding in my chest, walk to the door of my office, and close it for the last time, saying goodbye to that chapter of my life, to the career that had defined me for so many years, leaving behind a part of my legacy. I step up and open up my car door, feeling the evening air. Then I hear my father's voice, reminding me of the importance to do what he did many times in his long, successful career for almost 70 years. Get to the top and then step down, letting the next person take over. With those words in my mind, I drove home as slowly as possible, as if my mind were photographing every inch of the road I knew so well. The next morning, I'm greeted by a sense of freedom, free of the alarm clock, of the scheduled meetings, of official calls. I wake up early with bittersweet feelings, but ready to start a new day, a new life, a new adventure, a whole new chapter. I give myself the luxury of a lazy bubble bath, savor a long cup of coffee while I watch the last Hallmark Christmas movie in July. I guilty pleasure my demanding career had not permitted. As I sit there watching it, an unfamiliar sense of loneliness begins to creep up. The house is quiet, the girls are grown, and following their own careers. My marriage did not sustain the strain of my work. I take my dog for a long walk in nature. She seems to sense that I need to think and occupies herself with smelling the soft breeze, the aroma of the late summer flowers. My head's spinning. I turn my questions to the air and wait. Silence. Silence. Sometimes is true wisdom's best reply. I stop and take a deep breath. That's it. I need a breather. A called my daughters, and 2 weeks later, we're on a plane crossing the Atlantic towards the nurturing arms of my beloved Costa Rica. This is the first time in 20 years I come home without a return ticket. We visited with family and friends, take a long beach hopping tour. We planned my daughter's wedding and even bought a beautiful condo. Slowly but surely, I'm getting settled back after so many years away.
If you're interested in finding your true purpose, if you're interested in finding your legacy, if you're interested in growing, if you are sick and tired of reading books that don't help you, haven't helped you, or are not helping you, or attending courses and seminars that haven't really had an impact in your life, I invite you to read my book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose, out now. For more information, go to www.thequestion.co. If you're interested in working with me, contributing, speaking at any of our many events, partnering, or licensing The Best You, for more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.
Then the urge to action overcomes me. Where to start? Which is the way to create my highest vision for this stage of my life? I start sketching a plan, or rather, a blueprint of the ideas that had been shaping my mind for such a long time in preparation for this day. Which path do I take? How do I continue making a difference? You know, when you're thinking about something and all of a sudden the phone rings, it was like, did they hear my thoughts? Did they know what I was thinking? The call was from the United Nations University for Peace, which actually has a headquarters in Costa Rica, asking if I could come and meet the rector. At the meeting, he tells me he wants me to be the main lecturer in a series of international video courses in disarmament and peace-related matters. Further, he proposed that I be the first representative of the university at the UN in Vienna. This threw me back a bit. It would mean leaving again. But of course, I took it as the answer I've been looking for. Wouldn't you? I mean, the gentleman did not even know me. Someone at the UN had recommended my name. He called me out of the blue. So off I go back to Austria, which actually has become my second home. I talked to my husband, who was still working in Vienna, and he was excited and proposed to try and work in a relationship, rekindle what we once had. On paper, everything looked good. This was the easy path, the familiar road, to continue working in the same field under a different capacity. The work was fine, but from the beginning, I felt something was missing. My heart was not fully in it. I felt like a faded version of myself, like a clone without all the original features. The courses took place in Austria, and Costa Rica, and Egypt, and Ethiopia, and Thailand. Beautiful places. They were spaced out over 18 months, and during that time I was traveling again, something that I thought would bring me joy the way I had always done in the past. But I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't it. Although it made perfect, logical sense, everything in me was screaming, no, this is not it. The job description called for part-time work, so except when I was striving to teach the courses, I had a lot of time in my hands. So I began crafting a whole new chapter I could be more excited about. My engineering mind went straight to analysis. Firstly, I needed to know what had led me to take the position in the first place. Was it simply the alluring comfort of the familiar, my resistance to reinvent myself? Or was there a discovery to make about myself? Was there something this job was teaching me, guiding me towards? I began to do the crucial inner work that becomes a catalyst for the desired outward changes. Choosing to embrace my emotions and my resistance as teachers and guiding points, I began to explore. Placing every aspect of the UP's job under the microscope, comparing and contrasting it to my core values and passion, I got it. The part of the job I actually enjoyed was the relationship with my students, bright young women from many different professions, eager to learn about the various international instruments oriented to promote peace and security in the world. A part of me was awakened in my interaction with them, one that had always been there waiting for the day I recognized the gifts and abilities. To this day, these ladies write to me seeking advice, both professional as well as the personal development area. I realized that I had been mentoring and coaching, life coaching to many people, maybe not in a formal way, but for most of my life, I guided them on major decisions, particularly related to career. I had even been the catalyst for many of my friends' success in attaining an academic degree. Some of them might even say that I pushed the shove a little too hard, but they made it. The moment that realization became a thought, followed by a surge of excitement, I knew I needed to take action to materialize it. I had no idea how I would do this. I simply knew that if I helped myself to the possibility and began to take action, no matter how small or imperfect, that could create momentum. I decided to organize meetings with like-minded women on the verge of retirement to identify ways to empower, impact, influence, to continue making a difference and providing contributions to the world. Having reasons to get up in the morning. It was a mastermind in sorts. I want you to take note that I did not have my entire next chapter mapped out. I simply listened to a whisper and took inspired action. One seemingly small step moving me in the right direction. Then, as I was talking about waking up with joy and purpose, I received another phone call. This time from a friend. She called with a question. Can you tell me how you have always had so much energy and focus, even in the midst of heavy nuclear negotiations? I sat with that for a moment. I thought about the importance of a morning ritual. And there it was, another message from my intuition, a push from the universe. I began leading a group of women who wanted to take charge of the morning and seize their day. So at 5:30 every morning, much to some of their initial chagrin, I sent in a power-packed call for action message with a visualization, an affirmation, and a journaling prompt. I sent them a PDF of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill to read together and kept them accountable to their goals. Each one of us committed to physical movement every morning to energize our mighty mind and bodies. The women in these groups became the guinea pigs, or better yet, beta clients, for what would later become my signature program. Working with them allowed me to hone and tone my skills as mentor and coach. I walked them through the process I followed to get from my feelings of confusion, mental and physical exhaustion due to a lack of purpose or alignment, to those of excitement and alignment that led to inspired action. It has since come to be known as the turn the page process, a combination of processes of inner engineering and inner analysis, of inner alchemy to raise the energy frequency vibration, to tune more into your intuition and identify your next chapter so you can continue to make a difference. Now, with your permission, I would love to walk you through the first part of the process, which I like to call the inner analysis. Maybe you just entered a chapter, or maybe you're being called to do so. So first, I want you to take a long, hard, yet compassionate look inside and ask yourself, how are you feeling? Not how you should be feeling, but what is actually going on inside you. In order to do that, you need to become present and grounded in your body. One of the best ways to do that is through your breath. So still on your chair, close your eyes and prepare to breathe from your diaphragm. Imagine that you're not only breathing from your mouth, but from the tips of your fingers and the soles of your feet. You're taking such a deep breath that your body seems to be opening up. Continue breathing to the count of 8. Hold your breath for 3 slow counts. Then slowly, again to the count of 8, breathe out. Keep exhaling until all the air has been expelled. For a long moment of total emptiness. Take a long breath and exhale. Now begin the second deep breath from the diaphragm. Again, counting slowly to 8 as you breathe in. Feel the barriers within you fall as your diaphragm fills with air. Hold that breath for 3 slow counts, and then gradually exhale, counting silently to 8 as you do so. When there's no more air in you, Feel the calm emptiness at the center of your being. Take a normal, shallow breath and exhale. Now begin the third and final deep breath. Drawing air up slowly from your diaphragm to the count of 8. Imagine your entire body, every pore of it, is slowly inhaling life. Hold the breath lightly for 3 seconds, then slowly exhale to the count of 8. Breathe normally. While you're still in this relaxed state, with your eyes still lightly closed, imagine a white movie screen in front of you. It is luminous and empty. Keep seeing that bright, empty screen. Imagine yourself slowly walking towards the screen. It gets wider and brighter as you approach. You feel the sense of whiteness pervading your body. You enter the whiteness. A calm, white light pervades your entire body. There are no fears, no inhibitions, no mental rods, no habits of thought, no stress, no obstacles at all in the world of intuition that waits within you. Enjoy that feeling for a long moment. Feel the emptiness, the condition of not thought. For this moment, you don't know where your colleagues are, what your market payments are, or even where you are. Open yourself to receiving and ask yourself the following question. What does this chapter of my life bring and teach me? What did I learn about myself? What aspects of this chapter do I want to carry with me into the next one? What do I need to let go of? Breathe and tune into what your emotions and your body have been trying to tell you. Can you see the possibilities in front of you as you close the door behind you and step into the unknown? What is important to you? Allow words and phrases to come up and speak to your values and passion. Then take a moment to reflect what you're good at. Notice what the two of them intersect. Look at the skills, knowledge, and experience that you have acquired from a new perspective. How can you apply them to something new, something unexplored, something that excites and lights you up? Now gradually allow your awareness to shift again to the outer world. Feel the cheer again. When you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to take some notes, what came up during that process.
If you're interested in watching the video content of this interview and many others, or interested in learning from world leaders and teachers, go to www.thebestyou.online.
As I mentioned, what you just experienced is a sample of the first step in my turn the page signature process, which helps you to gain the awareness you need to proceed to the next chapter, in the next chapter, the inner alchemy. Given my engineering background, I have always been interested in balancing the energy flow of my own body. I have applied several techniques that help me maintain peace and calm and enhance my own intuition to apply to decision making, as well as to the negotiations in the very hectic environment that is the diplomatic field. These techniques I outlined in my upcoming book, which is entitled Turn the Page, How to Create, Embrace, and Step into the Next Chapter of Your Life. This book provides practical tools to help you identify and move into the next chapter of your life after retirement. This is a guidebook on how to re-engineer yourself or rediscover skills and abilities that can be applied to take on a different path, whatever it might lead. If there's anything I have learned, it's the path that the path can have many unexpected twists and turns. When embraced with curiosity, resiliency, and determination, This risk can become catalyst for even more growth and discovery. It's also important to remain flexible and see your next chapter as a living, breathing organism that will shift and grow as you do. I decided to resign from the UP's position and work in the program full time, helping people to find their next chapter while I work on my own. Then my husband was offered a job at a prestigious university in Texas. And after discussing with me, he decided to take the offer. So on the day before Christmas of 2018, we boarded a plane to travel from Austria to the USA, leaving behind the beautiful snow-covered Vienna and the steep mountains of the Tyrol to move to the heart of Brazos Valley in Texas, a warm, flat-land region full of enormous empty spaces. It was the beginning of our new next chapter, transitioning from the diplomatic life of the United Nations to the academic life of a university city. For me, it was both exciting and challenging at the same time. Little by little, I started to shape up my new chapter. I continued working with women in Europe and contacting groups in my new location. I kept them writing. Everything was going well. Then, in July, I received a call from my doctor, which marked the beginning of a life-changing experience that in an unexpected way came to enhance my work in helping people find their next chapter in life. I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and in the space of 6 months, I had to undergo 5 major surgeries. After a double mastectomy came the reconstruction process. I was in the hands of a group of plastic surgeons in one of the most renowned hospitals in the world, and they reassured me that this was a procedure that was practiced successfully numerous times by many plastic surgeons and many women all over the world, that there was no reason to be concerned. But apparently my body had a different idea. As a month after the process started, I was again undergoing surgery. After a high fever and swelling forced the doctor to insert an antibiotic disc to combat an infection and supposedly prevent additional ones in the future. A couple of weeks later, the process was again underway, expected to run smoothly. Then again, a few weeks later, my body reacted again, and I was back in the emergency room under a large IV dose of antibiotics for 5 days. This is the 4th major surgery in less than 4 months. I was exhausted in mind and body. So after a sleepless night, I decided that I needed time to recover and heal. I talked to my doctor and told him that I felt it made no sense to continue solving things midway, putting patches on top of patches, covering the cracks instead of fixing them, that I felt that my body was telling me something. Reluctantly, he finally agreed and removed everything and cleaned the whole area, deconstructing everything he had already built up with the purpose of letting my body heal and start the process again later on. It's not easy for me to share this very private and intimate story, but I do so to state that the idea of deconstructing to reconstruct can be applied to life in general. To start a new chapter, it's important to begin with a clean slate, wiping the hard drive and starting with a whole new paradigm. In order to step into who we are meant to be, we have to let go of who we were. We need to be willing to dismantle the identity we have created for ourselves in order to create a new one.
I love it. Amazing. So thank you so much for sharing. We're on a really tight time clock. So I just wanted to say we really appreciate your share and what you've been going through. I can't even imagine what you've been going through. My heart goes out to you.
Thank you very much, Johnny. But it has been, like I said, a lesson, and it has helped me put things in perspective. So I guess you always find the silver lining in things that look to be very difficult.
So if other people maybe were going through a similar path and they needed just a mustard seed of hope we've talked about for the last couple of days, and you could give them that mustard seed of hope of how you got through it, is there a way they can contact you?
Excuse me?
Is there a way, if somebody felt they needed to hear what you said?
Yes, of course. Actually, they can contact me. We have a Gmail that is called createyournextchapter@gmail.com. So every every word starting with a capital letter. So create your next chapter at gmail.com.
I love it.
Every word is starting with a capital letter.
Well, thank you for being on our MMI stage. There's multiple stages here. Crystal, I know we've got so much going on. In a couple, I don't know, about a half hour, we're going to do our giveaways for yesterday's winners. And we've got a bunch of names. We're going to go through and name all the speakers, every single speaker on all the stages for all 3 days. That's going to be fun. And are you ready? Are you warmed up, vocally warmed up, Crystal?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you two are after the challenge or more. Thank you very much.
We're having so much fun. So, Anna, thank you for being just a warrior, and just thank you for inspiring us. And Crystal, I didn't cut you off. You were saying?
No, I was just saying thank you for sharing. And I think, this is like, a number of the other ones. People need to maybe go back and listen to it again and get that mustard seed of hope that you were talking about.
Wonderful. Thank you both. Thank you, Crystal. And thank you, Tony.
God bless you.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.